Welcome to the finale. In this one, we finished the challenge, and this is our first one. We had no deaths with any characters because we kind of only had strong combos left. So we finished NG plus 19 and started NG plus 20. Here's the final tracker of how every run went in the challenge. As you can see, it's mostly pretty easy. There's only a handful of combos that are hard, or a couple characters that have bad early game. And if you like stats view better, um, we can see here. Basically, this is just the average. Uh, it would be just because a character is low down doesn't mean they're weak. It just means they need a more specific partner to function. And as you can see, they're very close together. Like the difference between Cohabitants and Warrior is like around one, with five being the highest and zero being the lowest possible. Like if you couldn't play this character at all, I would rate Radical a zero as a reference. And if you prefer a more visual view, and we'll discuss some of them, uh, generally, I wouldn't say there's any weak characters or characters you can't win with. Obviously, you can get the trophy bonus on all of them, even Cogitator, who's the worst. But I would say the ones on the most left or the top of the list are generically strong partners, and the ones further to the right are more niche that require a more specific setup to win, and you can't just arbitrarily pick them and hope to have a good time. Yeah, basically, Cohabitants doubles your balls, and the have damage penalty doesn't apply to very many things. Like it doesn't apply to hemorrhage procking, it doesn't apply to the smoldering trophy bonus to baby ball damage. It's just insane, honestly. Like super strong and makes any character better. The hitbox is a bit more awkward since it spaces you side by side instead of back in front. So it's a bit harder to dodge, but you have so much damage with Cohabitants it doesn't matter. Shieldbearer gives you a ton of early game damage. It does have an inbuilt half speed penalty, but it doesn't apply to Gory Trophy. And then it has a global magnet, which makes it a bit harder to manage your fusers, but it's not that bad of a penalty. But generally, where you die is the early game at high NGs, so having that nice early game damage to get to and kill the first mini boss, you can almost always make a setup that works. And then embedded in Juggler, they're kind of the same. They sort of function like you have Ethereal Cloak, which is one of the best passives in the game, and just the way speed works and acceleration works, which is a hidden stat that is how much the speed increases each time the ball bounces. Acceleration, that is. Um, so they both function very similar. Like you almost always are fishing for Ethereal Cloak as a passive outside of a few niche situations. And being able to start with that guaranteed is super strong. Um, Tactician and Spendthrift, they're really strong. Um, they like Tactician is a super free win on a lot of characters. It's just in later NGs, there's some stages where Tactician has undodgeable attacks like Snowy Shores and Fungal that sort of brings him down a bit from being the same as the generically strong S tier characters. You can still win on those stages, but it requires more thought. And Spendthrift, he's just generically strong, but his firing is a bit weird compared to everyone else in the cast. Uh, and usually you need something else to get set up. But if you get Baby Rattle, he usually crushes just the way his firing works. And Itchy Finger's pretty much same boat as Spendthrift. He's a generically strong buff, like the doubling fire rate. But doubling your fire rate isn't enough. You usually need something else, like Baby Rattle or Cloak. And then Nestor has an absolutely monstrous late game, but usually you're not dying in the late game in higher NGs. Like towards the final boss, you're dying before the first mini boss or at the first mini boss. So it's a bit harder to get started since special balls don't scale as well as baby balls. Um, and it also pairs with everyone in the cast, so some empty Nestor partners are better than others. Flagellant's got a pretty strong passive. It's just more strong in the late game when you can easily reach the baby ball cap and have like 1,000 baby balls in play. It doesn't help super much for your early game. And then False Messiah, he's like a slightly better warrior. The downsides of no banish or skip option are outweighed by the temporary healing and gold. Um, it's a bit stronger. And then Repentant Physicist, they're not bad. They just, in certain pairings, they don't work very well, like Repentant Shade or Physicist Shade, which drags their overall rating down a bit. And Warrior is basically like playing the character solo. Um, it's almost always worth partnering. He does have some really strong combos that give like instant access to Hemorrhage, and he's by no means bad. Like if Warrior is this far down, like basically a majority of the cast is good because all the characters are viable solo and of course viable with Warrior. And then Shade, he can be really good. Like his inbuilt 10% crit passive is okay. And he sort of has a free cloak like embedded in Juggler, so you would expect him to be higher. The problem is there's some partners he has that he's just absolutely miserable with that really drag him down compared to embedded Juggler. And then Sisyphus, if you're in like NG 1 through 4, he scales really well. It's just in the later game, AoE and status effect damage don't keep up as well. And so he has a trouble starting the stage. Like he can still clear all the stages, but usually, again, you're dying in the beginning, and he has a rough beginning. But it's nowhere near as bad as Cogitator. Cogitator, you pretty much need a specific partner to win with, unless you're a masochist, like pairing him with Cohabitants or Empty Nester and doing specific setups with managing your balls. In terms of what the overall hardest run, though, surprisingly, it was not Cogitator. By far, it was Shade and Physicist. It's totally fine in the beginning of the game, like in G1 through 4, but then once you reach a certain speed threshold, it's the closest combo to being unplayable. Like I had to disassemble my trophies, and we'll get into the runs now. That makes Wraith. I'd rather not take Wraith though. Jump Spring's great with Cohabitants. Maybe we actually do need Wraith. Unless we get Cloak early. Wind helps survive as well. It looks like we will need Wraith. So we'll grab that. And then we'll do Wraith Broodmother, or Wind Broodmother also works. And the next setup will be Hemorrhage Flicker, probably. Hemorrhage Flicker, Hemorrhage Flash. We got passed through though. Alright. Shortbow would really help on this combination of characters. Alright, so Wraith Broodmother. We could do Cell Wind. And there's Hemorrhage. I don't think we'll take Cornucopia because the time when we have Baby Rattle will be pretty weak. Alright, so we have Cell Wind next. And then we need Lightning Light and Shortbow. We don't need this, or this, or this, or this. I guess we could do Wind Maggot. I don't know if we'll have all the fusers. Maybe we have to make Maggot Hemorrhage instead. Since when you freeze the whole screen like this, you don't get as much XP. Or I guess we get some back from Gem Spring. Yeah, I don't think we have time to make Flash Hemorrhage, so we'll do Maggot Hemorrhage. Second Hemorrhage would be nice, or Short Bow or Cloak. There we go. I guess Cell helps a little bit. Okay, that went pretty fast. Yeah, Cohabitants is just so strong. This doesn't necessarily have good synergy with Repentant, but you don't need it with Cohabitants. And then Wraith just carried our early game. Hemorrhage killed the boss, but we got it so late. And then Pass Through really helps. And Short Bow really helps with Repentant. Not much more to say. There's a piece of Hemorrhage. Baby Rattle's insane with Spendthrift. I guess we can do Hemorrhage Flicker for once, since it works on the boss. We don't need Laser, or Freeze, or other Laser, or Charm. There's Flicker. Cell is fine, it's just good. Hand Fan can help stall the boss if we don't have Hemorrhage. Or the mini boss. Oh, we don't even have Flicker. We have to take an evolution early. There's Cornucopia. Which will probably be our first evolution, since it's better than Flicker for the early game. Upturn Hatchet would be really nice for damage. A lot of the passives that spawn baby balls don't work with Shade because he shoots them from the character, not the back. Like Bandage Roll. Deadeyes is decent damage. We don't want Pass Through. We will not blind once we evolve into Flicker. This works, and the last would be Upturn Hatchet we want. We can take Flicker now. So I think we'll do Flicker, Hemorrhage, and Maggot Soul Sucker, maybe? Trying to think what else we could use. I think we don't want to take it now. There's Maggot. So you want Iron next, or Upturn Touch it? Yeah, we don't really want to make Vampire Lord. There's upturn touch. There's iron. Perfect. We have everything we need. It's probably still better to make Maggot Hemorrhage, even though Flicker can hit the boss while it's in the air. As soon as it lands, a Maggot Hemorrhage will obliterate it, whereas Flicker takes some time. But we can mix it up. Oh, I would have taken that ghost if I had processed it in my brain. It was there. We're probably dying here. Or taking a lot of damage at least. There we go. There's Flicker Hemorrhage. I guess we're just doing Maggot Vampire. A second bleed would be nice. Bleed Leech with Flicker Hemorrhage works well. I don't think we'll get it in time. There's another Fuser, but I would need a Wishing Well proc, I think. Get the XP. So let's see. We got 3, 4, 5 hemorrhage procs while the bird was in the air, but it probably would have died right there when it landed for like 0.1 second if we had Maggot Hemorrhage. Still really fast, like Flicker Hemorrhage works. And certain things don't hit like the eyes on Moon. Like Sun can't see them to apply Fire or Hemorrhage. But Flicker does see the eyes on Moon, so situationally it's good. Also, it helps with the bullet hell to still keep applying Hemorrhage through the bullet hell, whereas some other ones you actually have to get the ball to the boss. For this case, it's mostly it can see the bird while it's in the air. A couple other things can also see it though, like Flash. And here's the damage. Basically just baby balls carrying, and then upturn touch. It's very good with shade. The dagger is better in Deadeyes when you're lower in the game. It's the Heavenly Trophy is not working properly. Like this number is a lie, so it's a bit lower than it should be. And then this, the way crit passives work is they're all multiplicative together. So when we take this item, we are not at 75% crit chance, like 40 from our base, the trophy plus shade passive. Those do stack additively. It's 35% of the 60% that one crit now crit. So basically, the more crit you have, the worse the crit passives become. They're very good at the beginning of the game, though. They're extremely solid. And by beginning of the game, beginning of the post game, like NG 1 through 4, the crit passives were a go-to for me. Okay. Cell and Bleed are both good. Cell's more immediate power, Bleed's stronger. Baby Rattle's insane. This is a pretty okay combo. Cloak helps quite a bit for the early game, and then we just need Hand Fan or Hemorrhage to kill the boss. We could also take Blizzard and just freeze it. I'd rather have Flash for this boss though. Bandage rolls, a classic with embedded. Or basically every character except a few. Wind is solid to stall and helps us kill the boss. Alright, we got the combo with bandage roll though. So my last passive will be Warhorn. And then we want Iron and Light as our last two balls. We could take Earthquake and just do Swamp for the slow. Apparently, yeah, Fusion Order does matter in more cases than just overlapping properties. People have started finding edge cases. In a lot of cases it doesn't have any impact whatsoever, but there are exceptions to that rule. Alright, so here Swamp has a stronger slow, so we put it first, since both of them have slow. There's Light for Flash, there's Warhorn for Cornucopia. I wouldn't hate Shortbow as our final passive either. Ow. We could take Hand Fan to guarantee we kill the next boss as well. There's Iron. If we have Hemorrhage, it won't matter. Upturn Touch, it's good damage, but I think we'll focus on getting Flash Hemorrhage ASAP. Oh, I should have taken Shortbow there, I didn't see it. It's not a huge loss to not have it. We can take a Cornucopia level to just help kill the boss. And then we'll try to get Shortbow. It's a waste of time to roll for it since we obviously can kill the boss as we are. But it's fun. There we go. Yeah, so this was another first try win. Pretty solid. We could take a second bleed with the boss. We can take a third bleed for the boss as well. Or not, I guess. Okay. Yeah, this is probably going to be a slow run because we rerolled for fun so many times. But that's okay. It was very solid. In terms of performance of this combo, since Juggler early game can be a little sketch till you get Flash set up, unless you take Cloak, and it's like a free Cloak, or similar to Cloak, how Embedded works. And then this combo is just slow to survive the early game until we got Flash Emerge set up, which carried. And here's the damage of the baby ball stuff. Wind helps stall. And there's a cornucopia piece. This combo is insane and really good early in the game as well. Like, I did a challenge of beating the game without using any buildings besides the characters, houses, and matchmaker. And like, obviously Tactician's a free win no matter what. At that point, even at level 1, he destroys Moon, but Cohabitants, Shieldbearer are also both super strong in that situation when you don't have stats to help you survive the early game because of Shieldbearer damage amp. I have no clue what we're making. I guess we can do like Flicker Hemorrhage and Radiation Laser Maggot. So we won't need lightning or freeze or fire. We will need a laser. Hand fan stalls the mini bosses out. I don't think we even need hand fan. Now that I think about it, Shieldbearer, if you just stand in front of the boss, the mini boss, it instantly annihilates it if you don't have cloak. I guess we can kind of troll on this combo. It's super strong. Yeah, that's good. Oh, we can also flash Gem Spring this boss. But I've committed to Flicker. Even though I have no pieces for it, I banish lightning. So I guess we're not doing that. There's Gem Spring. We'll take it anyways. There's Radiation Laser. I guess Spider Queen Radiation Laser also works instead of Maggot. That's a piece of Flicker, but we can't take it yet. We need either Egg Sac or Cell. There's Cornucopia, and there's Egg Sac, so we'll do Spider Queen. Alright, we don't need poison anymore. Or bleed. No, we do need bleed for Flicker Hemorrhage. And that's a piece of Flicker. Oh, I need one more level, and I need to find Dark. Here we go. There we go. We'll just level. Can't think of any passives or walls I would want. And then Hemorrhage Flicker. We can make another something. I have no idea. I guess we can show off something if we have fire in the pool still and I didn't banish it. I can't remember. It'd be nice if there was a UI for what you banish. I might have banished fire. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure we did, so it doesn't matter what the last things we take are. But I was going to demonstrate that Sun can't hit the eyes in the first phase of the boss, but Flicker can. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I banished fire. And just forgot about it. Sorry for the delay of reroll. Alright. Yeah, I think this is one of those things, all combos are viable. Sort of. Besides Shade Physicists later on in the game. Early on it works fine. But some are obviously way better than others, and you don't even really have to pay attention to the screen. I know a lot of people like the Nestor combos, but personally I prefer Shieldbearer still, because early game is the hard part, and Shieldbearer solves up to first mini-boss and kills the mini-boss. Its AoE is terrible for late game, but it's so many different ways to solve it. And here's the damage: Spider Queen, Rad Laser, Hemorrhage, Flicker. And then, yeah, Baby Balls do just so much with Shieldbearer, and Cohabitants also doubles their count, so it just gets ridiculous. What are we flashing? We could, that's a piece of Hemorrhage. Cell and Egg Sac are better to survive early. Slingshot's great to help you early game. Especially with Physicist. And then Juggler is one of my preferred Physicist options, because the way it fires negates the fact sometimes your ball's back to you when you have high speed. I mean, it still happens occasionally, but not as frequently with some other character pairs. There's Hemorrhage. And there's Gem Spring. We'll start with Flash, and then do Hemorrhage before the boss. We might need some CC. There's Hand Fan. Oh, there's Baby Rattle, which is also great. There's a level on Hemorrhage. I think we can get one more level here. Yeah, there we go. We are pretty much set to kill the boss. I'm surprised the wave is this tanky, even with Hemorrhage Flash. There's Cornucopia, which will definitely help a big amount once we get it going. And then I guess we can demonstrate the Sun thing this round. We're not as strong as the other combination, but this is still a really solid pair, and we already have Hemo Flash. We could do Sun Wind. Alright, this is Cornucopia. we'd like a light here. Short bow is great as our last passive. Alright, we just want light. There we go. I'm paying more attention to fusion order now that I know there's other edge cases. It's really hard to tell with a lot of them, because in a lot of them it doesn't matter, so we can get a second hemorrhage, which helps kill the second phase of the boss a little bit quicker. And then we can pair it with clone if we have time and extra fusers. And then another bleed. There we go. But yeah, sun, you can see it's not applying the fire to the eyes, but the little enemies. But if you directly hit them, it does work, but the AoE portion of sun can't see the eyes. Oops. I would not like to die. There we go. We're entering the home stretch now. So Hemo Flash was our main source of damage. This we got so late, it was just for demonstrating something. And then Slingshot helped carry our early game. And Hand Fan as well helped slow it down while we got Cornucopia set up, which really helped with the wave clear. I think that's all for this one. Okay, we'll do Nuke Mosquito Swarm. And then Maggot something. Maggot Hemorrhage. I think we're gonna try to go pure damage, since Spendthrift is that one, the guy, he's him. He makes all the money in the mansion passively, doesn't do anything, and then just comes into a stage and annihilates it. There's a piece of hemorrhage. We won't need a laser beam. We will need poison later, so we can't banish that. We won't need earthquake or freeze. Egg sac we could take and make mosquito swarm, but I'd rather have broodmother here or Ivern. There's broodmother. Alright. So we'll get maggot on the next fuser. Baby rattle here would be nice. There's a piece of cornucopia. There's cloak. Kind of slows down our overall fire rate, but that should be fine because it's better with the maggot. There's a hemorrhage. We'll need a second iron for a nuke, and then poison, and egg sac, and then baby rattle. There's the egg sac. Boss might be a little bit spicy. Maybe I should have taken hand fan. We can see if we get baby rattle here. That would also help tremendously. We're good. Never mind. So we'll just rush fusing maggot with hemorrhage. And try to get baby rattle. Dang. Yeah, passives you can't guarantee. Like that was our best opportunity. All we could roll for was 4 new passives each time, and we still didn't hit. We'll give it a few more tries before we pick up the fuser. There we go. Perfect. So fuse maggot hemorrhage. I don't think order matters for this one. I've done both plenty of times. And then here will be cornucopia. And then we need iron. Oh. So we want to evolve twice. And then we need to grab poison. There we go. And then just grab this for levels. We still need 1 bomb level. There we go. And then I don't think order matters here either. But people are saying always do nuke first. Or if nuke, it works like some of the other cases, it's better to have the ball you want the status effect applied from first. I'm not sure, it needs a lot more testing. It's possible it doesn't matter outside of extremely niche cases, which appears to be the case with like flash, flicker. Usually it didn't matter when I was testing. Alright, NG plus 19 finished. Yeah, we trolled quite a lot with this combo, but in the end it's 2 great characters go great together. 77 and 66, how perfectly ordered. Yeah, Nuke Mosquito Swarm, we obviously didn't need it all, but just for fun. And then Hemorrhage Maggot was the main clear. Interesting, the way it displays damage on the end screen is different too. Like obviously it was still spawning baby balls and doing good damage, but it's only attributing the hit damage here, not the spawn baby balls. I noticed that problem with Voluptuous Egg Sac as well. So I guess Fusion Order influences a bunch of weird things. In this case, it doesn't matter which order you do, but on the end screen it looks different, I guess. And then, yeah, Cornucopia, the staple. Wagon Wheel helped a bit with the early game, but it's not the most insane. That's part of Nuke. Baby Rattle's good, but it makes our turn slower. So the trick with this combo is you just aim at this top corner, and it's like you have Cloak from the beginning, so it's a free win, even at like no stats. You can use this corner too. We'd like to get Warhorn ASAP if we can. There's Maggot. We can take wins. It's not really necessary, but... Oh, I think that guy has a fuser and he's about to bonk us. So we lost one fuser, but that should be fine. Or this guy has the fuser. No, it's that one. So we missed one fuser. That's alright. I think we'll just do Maggot Wind and then Nuke Dark. Cloak's alright. Again, it's not necessary, but just nice. Handfen is like an emergency measure. I don't think we'll need it, but just in case. So all we need now is Dark. Perfect. I guess Cornucopia, a few of our baby balls will hit the crown as the boss, but the run just takes longer without it. I think of anything else we would even want. Upturned Hatchet, I guess, would help with boss DPS. There we go. That's fine too. So yeah, this can be a bit slow, especially on normal speed, but it's pretty much a free win. It's kind of the nature of the challenge. We tried to get the hardest combos out of the way first to see if it was even possible. And like the last couple we have left are basically free wins. And not as interesting. It is fitting that we ended up ending on Boneyard, where all of Ball X Pit began. This is the only stage we had in the demo. Overall, I'd say, outside of some of the Cogitator runs and Shade Physicist, nothing was as hard in this challenge as Fast 9 was in base game. Or not base game, in the demo. Before we got some of the updates. I don't think much matters here. I guess we can do Iron Cell. But yeah, some of the Cogitator runs, excuse me, and were definitely way harder than Fast 9 in the demo. It got easier with the second demo version that added some new balls, like Dark, Nuke, Cornucopia, and it also buffed how Iron and Dark function. They used to only multiply hit damage, not all damage like status effect, and passive damage. Yeah, this is the problem. There's so much downtime when you have Baby Rattle, just waiting. Even though it is double damage. So there's one radiation stack. 2 radiation stacks. 3. 4. Oh, our damage is pathetic, actually. 5. Well, he's fully irradiated, I guess. This one's a bit tricky. Maybe I should have taken Lover's Quiver. Ooh. Clean. Maybe it's better to aim this way because of embedded. Yeah. I guess he probably would have been dead if we were doing this the whole time. Maybe we can get tricky too, like... I guess it's hard with Baby Rattle to line that up perfectly. Right, and then just weave past. Slow and steady, but it works. 8-minute Fast 9. Yeah, that's the downside of Baby Rattle with Tactician, unless you're Spendthrift. Here's the damage. Nuke Dark really falls off in this high new game. Like 60k seems amazing, right? But like, or you can see it on the boss's health bar anytime it ticked. And even with the full radiation stacks, which is like, what is that? 75% more damage taken. It still barely moves the health bar. They just have so much HP, which is why Hemorrhage is so great. Glacier can keep up. I just haven't grinded the trophies for Glacier, and it's getting fixed. So it's better to rely on Hemo, which, as far as we know, isn't getting nerfed, but we'll see. And then Maggot was our wave clear, but pretty much extraneous. And I don't think the balls we got at the end did very much at all. Yeah. Cell makes Maggot. I don't like any of these options. I guess ball speed's okay. We can make, I forget what it's called. Wings of the Anointed. Let's grab Maggot. That's a piece of Cornucopia. We don't need Charm ever. Wind would help, but I think we're fine. Short bow helps. We could do Maggot with laser. Or Maggot with Holy Laser, and then Dark Nuke. I don't know if we'll have all the fusers to do that. We might just have to do Maggot with regular laser. There's Feather. Yeah, if we're taking Wings of the Anointed, we'll just have to do Maggot with regular laser. So our last two would be Upturn, Tatchet, and Baby Rattle. Deadeyes is good too, but we don't have room. There's Baby Rattle. Oh, I guess we do have room for Deadeyes, now that I think about it. And there's Maggot Laser. We don't need this or this. We do need Iron and Fire. Yeah, I would take Upturn, Tatchet, or Deadeyes if we saw it. Otherwise, I'll focus on making Nuke for the damage amp. Though Nuke is just better damage amp than either of those two, since it's multiplicative, not additive. Yeah, this combo is extremely great. Like one of the better partners for Shade. There's Upturn, Tatchet. And we should... Oh, we don't have the poison for Nuke. Whoops. There we go. Hopefully we get 2 levels here. If not, we won't be able to fuse Nuke and Dark, which is okay. We don't really need the damage from the Nuke itself. We only need the damage amplification for the baby balls. Oh, we got it anyways. Brood Mother's good, Cell's good. And then we'd want Egg Sac or Upturn Tatchet. Wagon Wheel works too. There we go. Yeah, this combo is a bit rough at the very, very beginning until when you don't have a lot of baby balls. But then it completely pops off. And when this boss dies, we'll be done with the challenge. Oops. I'm just tanking everything. Alright, mission complete. So Maggot Laser was just wave clear. You need a little bit so the stragglers don't make it to you. And then nuke. Obviously the damage wasn't high, but you have to consider radiations amplifying the baby ball damage. And then yeah, majority is just baby balls, upturn, touch it, wagon wheel contributed a little. And we're done.